Hello everybody, welcome back to Astralladytarot. My name is Anna, and today I want to talk to you about journaling and how I think it's important to not censor oneself. So this video is titled Do Not Censor Yourself in Journaling, just because that is what I believe to be the most helpful way of writing things down, writing down our thoughts, our feelings, and our observations. So why this video? First and foremost, it's because my previous journal fairly recently was finished, completely full. It's 2 years of my life in here, in teeny tiny writing, because I write really small. And I have then chosen my next journal, my new journal, with blank pages, because this went along in the shift in practice that I had. And I wanted to express more and also do more with just visual things, just with imagery. And so the blank pages was a deliberate choice so that I could express some things, wordless. So nowadays in this journal, I have found that I start a journal entry wordless, and I'm finding out, I had this urge, which is why I made the switch between lined paper. I didn't follow the lines, by the way. I just wrote down everything really teeny tiny, but still, it left little room to draw and do anything visually pleasing. So I made the switch deliberately to the blank pages, and these blank pages really invite, this expression of self, of again, thoughts, feelings, emotions, observations, moments. And I have found that it is really helpful and it's magical in its own way, right? So I want to talk about, just journaling in general. I like to make videos about that because it's inspiring, I hope, and to make people enthusiastic about it. I mean, this is just my opinion, that journaling is essential. It's essential for me, okay? But just try it out in case you have never done it before. Try it out in the sense of writing down anything that ever happens, or maybe like make some of this art. It doesn't have to be good, it just has to be yours. Okay, journaling, but then very specific also. I'm going to talk about things I'm doing to make it as helpful, as easy, and as practical as possible, but to also make it fun and exciting and as real as possible. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my previous journal, my new journal, what benefits I am personally experiencing from journaling, and how I feel it works best for me, and how I write down tarot spreads, etc. That's more like on the practical sides, but that was requested, so I figured it would be nice to put in this video how I write down tarot spreads, basically how I tarot journal, and using abbreviations, reversals, other and regular spreads, and then finally the evolution of my journaling, meaning the switch to blank pages and starting wordless. So I will go into all of that a little bit more in depth, so I hope you'll like that and try something similar. Writing down the truth. If it's the truth right now, then it could really help getting through some shadowy stuff. This is just about the first idea for this video. Don't censor yourself when journaling. Your journal is yours. These are your words, your thoughts, your moments. Moments cannot be recreated. So this moment, this very moment, this observation, it's a quick way to get to the shadowy stuff, as I said. So talking about tarot journaling or journaling just in general, for me is pretty much the same because I use tarot so much and I also journal so much. But people who use the tarot like I mainly do I believe, are looking for truth, are looking for awareness, are looking for something real, right? And this can't come without some form of confrontation. So confront yourself. Do not censor yourself. And I also think that I'm experiencing a healing in the healthy practice of writing down the truth. So yes, this is about censoring. And writing down the truth, what do I really mean? Well, I'm mostly now talking about things that give us a negative feeling. So that doesn't need to be negative things, can be positive things as well that actually give us a negative feeling, you know, all of this shadow work stuff. But I am mostly talking about that because it's just an easier example or a clearer example. But if you are able to write something down about yourself or someone else, or, you know, maybe even the bigger picture, the society or our leaders, anything, without having it come solely from emotion, then there's a big chance you are writing down the truth. As in the truth meaning being your current observation, your truth, an observation without censoring yourself. Do you get what I mean? So this is a powerful thing, right? Because by doing so, there's this reaction on something that came from you. It's your thought, but it's now written down or said out loud. But, you know, we're talking about journaling, written down. And it allows acceptance because we are confronted with it. It's a powerful thing. So think of it like this. Your journal is for your own self-development. It's not really for anybody else's eyes, is it? I think for me, those are the most straightforward reasons to not censor myself and write down the truth, as I keep saying. But without censoring yourself, here are some of my doubts and fears. What if someone finds this? What if I'm wrong? And then what if this thought is not nice and I've chosen to write it down anyway, or in spite of that? Well, what if someone finds it? It would definitely suck. I would be mad, you know, if someone just took the liberty to read all of this, where it's obvious, you know, something that is very private. But and I'm not saying that this makes it right, because like crossing that line is a serious thing in my world. But I'm just separating the two thoughts. Okay, so we have someone reading the journal over on this side, and then what's actually in the journal. I feel that there's a difference between angry teen journaling, you know, bitching about classmates and teachers, and adult journaling with a spiritual outlet and growth in mind. That alone could be enough reason for you to feel free to write everything down the way that you see it. Simple as that. If, of course, you know, you feel called to do so, obviously. This is all big disclaimer on this whole video, but I'm just saying it can be really helpful to write things down as you see it, as you experience it, as honest observations, right? Also about yourself, obviously. Then the second one, what if you're wrong? Apparently, it was the truth to you when you wrote it down. Again, enough reason for me. And then the third one, what if it isn't nice? How do you feel about it? Is it not true just because it isn't nice? So this makes me sound not so nice, but again, just observations, truth, no judgment, okay? I'm talking about, do you know what I mean? If there is judgment, there is a reason to explore that further and to see how to handle this situation, how to not react. I'm trying so hard to avoid that word. just how to feel about it, just how to, you know, make sense of it, basically. Just the whole reason to journal also. So what if it is true, right? And you write it down. There's power in seeing something written down, as I said, or said out loud too, but whatever thought comes out of the mind, it stares us in the face. We have to start accepting it. Okay, so is it not true just because it isn't nice? Or it is true and you wrote it down and then, you know, there's a power in there. Or perhaps you were upset and it, in fact, is not true. Am I confusing you already? I hope not, because this is really just analyzing yourself as you free yourself. And finally, what if this not nice fact about someone else actually is a shadow that you have about yourself? There's a big chance anyway that this is the case. Don't stop yourself from writing down your observations, you know, no matter how not nice, about things, about yourself, about other people, about any situation, if you feel the need to, of course, because I think it will reveal truths about yourself as well. Okay, so let's talk practically. How do I write down the spreads I'm doing and all those tarot cards, etc.? So this is so far mostly in this older journal, but I will just use an example. Had to switch to fountain pen for my new journal because the pages aren't as starch white as the other one, and it's different texture. So like the regular pen that I used to write with just didn't work well, too much friction. So fountain pen it is, and this is like something that was a gift to me when I was gifted to me when I was a child. It's actually a gold tip pen. How cool is that? And it's Jules Verne. So yeah, very, very adventurous. Okay, so abbreviations. Let's start there because this might be a beginner, a tarot journaling tip, but still important, I think. It's completely different than the first section of this video, but I will go back into the depth thing, you know, after this point. I just wanted to share it with you. So we don't want to write down because if you're anything like me, you write a lot, okay? You write down all of your tarot interpretations, tarot and oracle interpretations, and more. And that's a lot of writing, and we want to stay motivated to write down. So instead of writing down King of Wands, Knight of Swords, all of that, yeah, or like Seven of Cups, right? You can make little symbols. Now I will just show you, like I have wands, swords, cups, coins. That's all it is. Wands is a line. Swords looks like a cross, but it's like a line plus the little handle, right? Then we have cups, which is also just two lines to make the easiest, you know, most abstract looking cup ever. And then, or simple looking cup. And then like a pentacle or pentagram actually to make the little star for the coins and the pentacles, right? Then I have king. I usually just make a K for the king. Queen is the beautiful letter Q. Then we have knights. We can make K and a little N next to it. And then page can be a P. So writing down Page of Wands, that's really all it is, and you know what it is, right? And then same with any number, like the ace, I usually put an A instead of a 1, but this would be the Ace of Cups. Then we have 8 of Pentacles, we have 10 of Wands. Like, we can go really, really quickly with this, okay? I know that some people also use this for the majors. They have all of these symbols. Now, I don't feel like remembering any of those symbols, so I just write down temperance, in full word. I write down death in full word. I write down everything in the majors. I write down fully. Now that really doesn't bother me, but this is just like, an example, and I figured interesting or helpful in case you didn't think about it yet. Now, what if you use reversals? All I do is make this little arrow, like flipped down, pointing downwards. That means Ace of Cups reversed, right? And even shadow card, because if you pull an extra card, I used to have this shadow card in the spread. Shadow card, I don't do that anymore because I actually have a shadow card always in my most regular general spread that I use a lot. But shadow card I used to write down like this, like the 8 of Pentacles would be the shadow card now because it's in between those. I don't know what they're called, right? And when it comes to spreads, like sometimes I want to do a what's this called? Yeah, the patchwork spread. So then I just make little squares because all my cards are squared, right? And I just go like this, this, this. These are my little squares. This is how the cards laid on the table. And then with those lines and then the titles, like this was Alchemical Tarot. This was also Alchemical Tarot. This one was a Rider-Waite-Smith. This one, you see what I mean? Like each, you know which deck it is as well. So that later on when you look back, you know which card it was from which deck and whether it was reversed or not. And all of that stuff. And then you have the ability to just write down this flood of words that comes with the interpretation of this spread. Now, all of those squares, fine. But I really like to have, or I enjoy having this very clear 3-card spread that I've been using for years now for myself, for clients. I just feel it works really well. And it's the beginning of a huge spread that I can do, but I know when I'm journaling for myself that if it's just 3 cards written down, as in I can do this again, usually do this, Page of Wands, Ace of Cups, and 8 of Pentacles, like this little part here. If something like that is written down, then I know it's my most used spread. So I don't have to write down, okay, this one is the shadow card, this one is the light card, this one is the advice card, this one is the help card. None of that. I know when it's three names of cards or abbreviations of cards next to one another, I know that this is my spread, and I know, what means what, because again, like the spread position dictates for me the context of the interpretation of the cards. So how does that essence of the energy manifest, right? So, and then when I want to build out, I know what spread I'm doing that is more easily, just quick and easy, as in I can immediately go into interpreting the tarot and writing down the interpretation of the reading, right? And if there's any card that I just felt like pulling extra, then I write down what that means, what I, was thinking about when I pulled that specific card. Is that all I wanted to say about this? I remember what I wanted to say now. This is obviously for someone who doesn't take a picture of the spread, prints it out, and then glues it in the journal. That would, of course, be a very quick and easy way to, solve this problem of which card is which, and to actually make it even more visual. Now, funnily enough, this method was great for me, has been great for me for, very, very long time. And I do not own a printer, but so this book is like filled with just words. Basically 99.9% is teeny tiny words. It's filled to the brim with teeny tiny letters. So it works for me, but with the shift of this one, I have actually ordered a printer to make everything more visual. So yeah, there's that. That's something that I wanted to include here. But I think it's fine to do it this way. There's also strength in that, you know? It's like, I don't know, it's more like taking notes, I guess. It's more in the study sense, even. Yeah, more cerebral, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, this is how I used to write down in my journals. There's a good 2 years of my life in this one. Lots of studying, taking notes, interpreting tarot and oracle, but also basically writing down every single thing that happened in those 2 years of my life. So let's see. When did I start? I started this one on November 16, 2018, and I finished it already on December 27, 2020. Yeah. This is so cool. And I have these little tabs here. So I have numbers, wheel, as in wheel of the year, signs, as in zodiac, alchemical, what else is there? I even have the Theban, which is the alphabet, which is really cool. Alchemy, some more alchemy stuff, geometry stuff, Kabbalah, and then book T also. I copied all of those amazingly beautiful titles of all of the cards. So yeah, you know, I did all of that, and all of that is in here, and I love it so much, but I never took into consideration what anything looked like, So the end of my journal transition to beginning a new one, as in I went from lined to blank, it really made this huge difference from going from all words to something that allows, inspires, has room for art. Again, anything visual. So this brings me to making pages in this journal, because every page is completely blank, very different. And the thing is, I have started seeing a page more like a spread, as in just like in a magazine, you know, where we don't have one page and one page, where we actually, these two pages together are a page. So that also makes it very vivid in your face every time you turn a page. You're in a new, into a new intention, into something new. And so this is what one page means to me now, because it's a blank page, and you know, I can draw, I can paint, I can collage. Of course I could do all of that on lined paper as well, but it was never as inviting. It was never inviting enough for me to do that. And again, you know, with that shift of practice, but again, I'm rambling now. So I still feel the need to write down a lot, almost everything, you know. I still write down teeny tiny. That hasn't changed. Why do I write so small, by the way? That is because of tarot, because I write down so much that writing small makes me write down faster. You know, if you have to make these big movements, then it doesn't go as fast. Is that, I don't know, is that just me? That's just the idea that I have. And so I write down teeny tiny. Although maybe I should like amp it up a little bit, because what if my sight, you know, what if I get older and I have to get glasses and I cannot read my own handwriting anymore? Oh gosh. Better buy one of those magnifying glasses just to be sure I'll be able to read what I wrote down. But anyway, I still feel the need to write down a lot. So I usually, what I do now is I will have a drawing or something somewhere on the two pages, really taking this into consideration, and then write down around the illustration. So I find it very interesting so far, and synchronistic, that when I paint something rather abstract on the page, thinking I am illustrating this very specific thing. You know, I am expressing this one thing very deliberately. And then I realized the next day, when journaling about my next tarot reading, for instance, that this abstract image of yesterday also very much illustrates something else that I hadn't thought about. And that is something that words cannot do as easily. So, you know, I think it's really like this red thread between I think I am doing one thing with this visual image, with this image. I think I'm doing one thing, I'm expressing one thing, and then it turns out to hold on, actually, yeah, that's also what it means. So I don't know, yeah, very powerful, very, very cool, and definitely something that I didn't do with my words only journal, right? All right, so next thing, about something related. It is my intention to one day start a grimoire. I want to wait a little longer to be able to preserve my spiritual practice, if you will, to give it a real base in a way. I mean, when I'm more comfortable with writing facts and findings because I have my own proof rather than, you know, logging my process, which is what I see this as, you know. Or just writing because I feel the need to, you know, sometimes there's not really a reason that you just want to write because it's, I don't know, some sort of, it feels good. So on the other hand, I am very aware and happy also that my practice is always changing, it's ever changing, and that gives me the freedom to believe in my ideas rather than sticking to my beliefs. But even just that, I somehow want to be able to word it in a way that will inspire me for the rest of my life, and even after that, because I believe we have the potential to be pre-images after all. So the difference between a journal and a grimoire for me is a journal is a log, right? Logging the process and the progress. And even though I now enjoy it being beautiful, there's absolutely no pressure for it to be perfect. So a grimoire also shouldn't be perfect in my opinion, but that's just because just let everything be human for a change. But it is much more of an end result is what I see a grimoire. So things are never set in stone, that's true, but I guess they would be a little bit more finalized, right? That's the idea, proven to work. Kind of like, these things make sense to me, and I want them in this special book so I can repeat these things, or rather re-invoke, reuse that energy, because there might not be any value in repeating anything, just like get back that energy, that knowledge. So I think, you know, there are so many things in my previous journal, my current journal already, the journals before my previous journal, that, you know, that I want to have put together in a grimoire, because I feel like there are some things that I have built up, made myself. And I want them, you know, in this special book, special place, kind of like, these are the most important things that are part of my practice as it forms. So, yeah, this is totally rambly, I know that, but I hope you like it anyway, because just to clarify, this is just the idea, the expectation that I have of having a grimoire, because I don't have one yet, but, you know, I guess it may surprise me how it works out for me, but yeah, either way, I will inform you when the time comes. So all in all, I have absolutely loved my previous journal. I don't regret switching to blank pages when my other one was finished. I very much enjoyed taking a moment to think about what I'm doing with the next page, you know, because as I said, I think maybe that's called a spread, like in a magazine, you know, it becomes a visual thing, right? Like you open the next page, there's this whole thing with with a drawing or any type of artwork, a big or small, or, you know, fabulous, extravagant, or very neutral and small. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And then all of these words, all of these journal entries around it, it becomes a visual thing and it has visual impact. So that means that every page, right? This is a page. Every page has its own flavor, has its own meaning and focus and feel. And basically, this journal is inspiring me of the obvious possibility of every new page. I didn't have that in the other one, right? So I have to take a little step back, is what happens, and think about what it is I want to do with it, with this space. There already have been a few things that I didn't understand enough. I couldn't feel how I would write down those things in words. And so what I did is that I wrote down how I felt about it, and then have the illustration kind of like explain what it is in a sense. So that's a kind of like a nuance, you know, like an artistic liberty that I've been taking. But it's been interesting as well, because again, like, you know, images can do things that words cannot, and it's a very interesting process. So as I've said, it has proven fruitful in itself in understanding certain things, because words would not have had the same symbolic effects. Starting wordless has been my most satisfying change in method of journaling so far. So please let me know if you already do any of these things, or if you wish to start. Feel free to ask me questions about this. Happy journaling, and I will see you all in the next one.